Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game Soin versus Infi. This game taking place here on Northern Isle. Infi spawning as the blue human player on the bottom left-hand side of the map. This is taken from the Proiron tournament. For all you guys wondering, look at that panda right there. Just trying to, pump some iron. Yeah, not quite sure what that has to do with anything, but I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup. Infi opening things up with a altar of kings, barracks, and a farm. Pretty standard build order, trying to find that magic zoom depth. Meanwhile, off on the other side of the map, we're looking at altar of storms, barracks, and an orc burrow as well. It seems like both players are going for a pretty traditional standard style of build. Remember, in tournaments, there is more on the line, so you generally don't see as much experimenting, but you often see a much higher level of execution and more micro while drawing things in these battles. Archmage going to get trained up with the barracks and footmen right behind it. Meanwhile, off on the other side here, Farseer, barracks, lumber mill, war mill in the back will be training up headhunters after perhaps that opening grunt. Now, with this, the Farseer can try and get in some harassment rather than just doing some creeping. But I do believe we should be looking at a Grunt and Farseer working out together, perhaps clearing out some early creep camps and getting in some of those headhunters. Now, Archmage will most likely be calling to arms, trying to get militia out on the battlefield and trying to get to level 2 as well. Difficult to say where these two armies will be engaging against each other and how, but Farseer Grunt, some Spirit Wolves, some early poking around, and then perhaps battles with level 2 heroes as they tech to tier 2. Coming back across, Infi no longer training up any additional workers, sitting at a customary 13. We're looking at a 5-4-4 creep camp. This Ogre Magi Tuskar Warrior creep camp does give level 2 to the Archmage fairly fast, as that water elemental is still absorbing a large amount of damage. Ogre Magi going to get taken down. Last Tuskar Trapper is going to fall pretty quickly at the hands of is that Infi is going to lose that militia? No, he does not. Now returning all the way back, Archmage is at level 2. Scroll of the Beast out as we look at an illusionary, Farseer making his way out across here. Alright, Archmage just trying to clear out these creep camps quickly and efficiently. Meanwhile, the Farseer off on the other side will be getting the level 2 after this Murloc Flesh Eater and Murloc Huntsman should get to level 2 after these get taken down. We can see a curious scout farm positioning here, just making sure to know where your opponent is at all times, as the militia now transitioning over to go after this Ogre Magi 6 o'clock expansion location. The illusion is not going to be able to do very much of anything. Water Elemental making its way down. Now, however, the real Farseer are going to go ahead and engage as we see a Scroll of the Beast used quickly. Who's going to get the experience? I believe the Archmage did. And now we're going to see some more damage getting racked up here. Remember, Scroll of the Beast is a very large 25% damage bonus. So this is an absolutely one-sided battle as the Archmage gets up to level 3. Scroll of the Beast this early, rarely ever used. So to see Scroll of the Beast used this early, causing quite a bit of a scare. You can see all of those footmen dealing up to 16 damage, and just dealing so much more damage and able to clear out that creep camp in a very efficient manner. All right, they're already back in action, going to try and get in some damage there. There goes another Wolf Archmage getting poked by some Murlocs, and that's a little bit of a problem there as the Farseer gets in some experience. However, the footmen are now trying to get a little bit of a dance around that Farseer, get us around, unable to do that, as we're looking at, Water Elemental going up and going after some headhunters. Footmen should be getting defend here momentarily. The illusion absorbing all of that damage. Here we are getting that defend, and that defend will be reflecting back all of that troll headhunter damage. Archmage coming back around here. Low hit point Water Elemental trying to back away. Archmage is at level 3 with level 2 Water Elementals, level 1 Brilliance Aura. That's going to be plenty of damage and hit points dealt, as this footman may want to try and and back away. What is that footman doing? He's actually running, well, the wrong direction, straight in line with all of those headhunters here as the footmen now fall back. Infi does have the Expo. Meanwhile, Tech to Tier 2 nearly done already by Sowin. So Sowin should be able to get that second hero quickly and perhaps start putting in pressure. Scout Tower trying to upgrade to an Arcane Tower. Footman with Defend, able to reflect back damage. Peasants taking quite a bit of damage as well as more peasants are getting trained up. Farseer sitting at level 2. Talisman of Evasion. We are waiting for that Arcane Tower to come online. And we see a Chain Lightning bounce across multiple peasants again. And now even taking down some footmen. Alright. Headhunters. Not going to be able to do much. Archmage still wandering around, able to dish out a little bit of damage. We're looking at an Arcane Tower now done here. No Arcane Vault, though, and I see only one low hit point footman hiding in the back. Grunt and Farseer are going to be retreating back home, and after a crazy first round of battles, well, both sides looking to retreat back here. Sowin with the tech advantage, meanwhile Infi with the economic advantage. Who is going to come out on top? With, well, Shamans and Raiders to join in on the battle. Those Raiders are going to be able to get in some strong ensnares, perhaps take down a couple of buildings. Archmage, Scroll of Regeneration, healing up all of those, well, poor workers who were just trying to carry bags of gold, like, what, 20 feet, and constantly getting pressured. All right, low hit point footman. What is that? Yeah, what is that footman doing there? Down to 17. He's most likely going to get taken out. Is he going to get denied? That is the question there. Well, one more shot by that Spirit Wolf, and yes, he does end up going down. Meanwhile, Archmage now leading the charge off to the north here. Orc Burrows, well, do not have that War Mill upgrade as of yet. There we are. There we go, putting in pressure on these heavy armored units. Tauren Chieftain with Endurance Aura, however, able to catch up to the Archmage as we are looking at the units trying to pull back again. This Water Elemental not going to be able to get very far. Meanwhile, another footman getting taken out once more down to the south. So some easy experience by Sowin. Infi's economic advantage hasn't really translated to presence on the battlefield as of yet. So Sowin getting that reinforced defenses now, doesn't want to get pressured by Water Elementals and that Archmage. Meanwhile, Archmage himself with Defend on those footmen, going after the Ice Troll Warlord creep camp, reflecting damage back pretty efficiently, trying to take this down. But remember, footmen, even if they are reflecting some of that damage back because of that frost armor, is a difficult creep camp to clear out. Archmage, well, sitting at level 3, going to clear out a couple more Ice Troll Berserkers and Ice Troll High Priest. Will this give level 4? Maybe if it takes down the Raider as well, but I don't believe the Raider is going to stick around to allow that to happen. Tech to Tier 2 by Infi, nearly done. We have the Blacksmith at the main base instead of traditionally at the Expo as of late, as the Footmen are now looking to retreat again. Archmage picks up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability and a Staff of Teleportation. Well, what is he doing? He is rushing on in with a Potion of Invisibility and wants to, well, perhaps shut down this Great Hall. Here we are, here we go. That Great Hall most likely going to be forced to get cancelled. There's a purge onto the Water Elemental, but the loss of time of that Great Hall and that rebuild, loss of resources from cancelling a building in order to set it back up. There goes the Ensnare, and Infi, well, is he going to be able to teleport out? That is going to be the case. No, Potion of Invulnerability. Wow, beautifully timed. Trying to get away, get free there. Going to be forced to use that Scroll of Town Portal. Double Ensnares. The Footmen are all coming across and all able to escape away, save for one who got ensnared earlier. Alright, timing is key. We are getting up a Mountain King. We are getting up dual Arcane Sanctums, one being double built, the other being triple built, to cut down on that time. Perhaps get some casters out there on the battlefield to cast some slow and heal up some of those units. Meanwhile, Archmage is still running around the map. And Sowin has not really been able to play his style of game. as he needs to deal with Infi constantly just moving around and putting in a pressure. Here we are. In comes a little bit more potential creep jacking. Tauren Chieftain is sitting at level 3 and now with some strong items ready to go into battle. All right, Footman with Defend. Militia now getting called over. Mountain King Stormbolt trying to take down that tracker there. Meanwhile, it looked as though the Archmage was just always an ever-present threat, trying to, make it difficult for the Farseer and the Tauren Chieftain to get in creeping. Mountain King does get to level 2, does have Pure Up to Vitality. Archmage is now going to rejoin in, and here we are engaging against this Arachnid creep camp off to the north. Meanwhile, the Farseer, the Tauren Chieftain here, I'm going to try and check where his opponent is. Not going to see it. Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal, so will be able to back away. Meanwhile, Mountain King actually low on mana. Mountain King wants to get to level 3. Archmage could also benefit by getting to level 4. And finally, we see Shamans joining in on the battle here. Ring of Protection +4 going to get picked up and will teleport everyone away in time. All right, with the teleportation back across here, quick dispel of that lightning shield so it doesn't rack up any damage. And is this rifleman stuck? Yes, he is. So this rifleman was stuck, cannot finish building off there as the priests are trying to regroup with all of these units off to the side. So both sides are sitting at tier 2. Both sides have expos. Both sides have 2 heroes. Comparable in level 3 versus level 4, and now nearly level 3. Should get very close to level 3 off of this creep camp. However, the way we got to where we are is different by both sides. Archmage also, significantly less items now. Mountain King picking up all of those there, as he's going to be the one to dive on in that front line spot. Tuskar Sorcerer, easily, quickly taken down. Archmage now, rushing off to the north again, as we see Footman once more trying to disrupt this line here. Footman with Defend. Peons are just off over here trying to get back and get away. Meanwhile, inside the main base, Spellbreaker in that frontline spot. Rifleman getting ensnared on the way out. We're going to see a couple of Dire Wolves try to push their way through as a Rifleman gets taken down. Meanwhile, Magnetar Reaver Creep Camp getting cleared out here. Archmage going to try and pick up Claws of Attack +12. And now perhaps Scroll of Town Portal to try and defend this last spot there. Shaman, is he going to get taken down in time? Yes, he is, as they teleport back home. All right. Farseer are going to go ahead and teleport perhaps off to the north here to try and engage against these Footmen. Footmen, going to quickly get ensnared though, and with that, all of these 6 Footmen off to the north easily going to get taken down. Exchanging blows on both sides. One Grunt, perhaps not realizing that all of his brethren were completely gone. This Grunt at 153 hit points will be able to retreat back. Meanwhile, units are just trying to flee away. Mountain King with Stormbolt able to get in that lasting stun. Archmage going to try and, not going to even bother. Unarmored Kodo Beast taking a lot of bonus damage from the Water Elemental and the Rifleman. 1,000 hit points gone pretty much in an instant. As we're engaging here, Mountain King does have Boots of Speed. It will be able to chase down units. Meanwhile, Spellbreaker in the belly of the Kodo, as pressure is now getting added on to Sowin's Expo. All right, towers are getting constructed here as well. No Ivory Towers, just building them the old-fashioned way. Mountain King, Tauren Chieftain going to perhaps come across and get in a giant stomp here. There's a Thunderclap, there's a Stomp, Lightning Shield on the Tauren Chieftain, racking up more damage as the Mountain King does have level 2 Thunderclap. Is he going to go ahead and try and Thunderclap again? There you are, slowing down all of those units. Scroll of Healing, keeping some units alive as we see another Lightning Shield go down on the Tauren Chieftain, quickly getting dispelled again. That Scout Tower not even upgrading, multiple units still falling. Mountain King still has some mana, as we're looking at more units still falling here. There's Wanda mana stealing, removing some of the mana from that Mountain King. That was an important steal there, as we see a Stormbolt go down onto the Farseer. Farseer could end up getting taken down, and a sudden swap. Archmage gets up to level 5, level 3 Brilliance Aura, as the entire, human caster army should be able to just churn out more or more spells. And wow, that sudden level up by the Mountain King to level 4, giving a little bit of bonus mana and enabling a level 2 Stormbolt with the Farseer semi-surrounded by Spellbreakers. Once that Farseer was gone, well, you knew that Soin would not be able to hold there, so that was a sudden shift in that battle. Infi able to force a defining move and a game-ending game-ending mistake by Soin. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.